Life can feel like it's constantly throwing curveballs your way, stressful situations, unexpected setbacks, and endless pressure. But here's the truth. You don't have to let those things control you. You can stay calm, positive, and in control, no matter how chaotic life gets. The key is learning how to manage your mind, your emotions, and your responses. In this guide, you'll find practical, actionable advice that will help you handle any situation with clarity and confidence. These aren't just feel-good tips. They are real, effective strategies that you can use today to create a life of peace and positivity. You'll discover how to stop letting stress rule your life, how to take control of your thoughts and emotions, and how to build a mindset that helps you grow, succeed, and thrive in every area of your life. It won't be easy at first, but with consistent effort, you'll start to notice the change. You'll feel more grounded, focused, and energized. And most importantly, you'll feel in control of your own life. If you're ready to stop letting stress drag you down and start taking action to create a calm, positive life, keep reading. What you're about to learn will transform the way you approach every challenge and every opportunity in your life. Chapter 1. Understanding stress. If you don't learn how to control stress, stress will control you. That's the harsh truth. Most people live their entire lives as slaves to stress, letting it dictate their moods, their actions, and their happiness. They wake up anxious, go through the day overwhelmed, and fall asleep exhausted, only to repeat the cycle again the next morning. But it doesn't have to be this way. If you master your mind, you master stress, and when you master stress, you master life. Stress isn't the enemy, it's a test. Life will throw problems at you. Bills, deadlines, conflicts, setbacks, uncertainty, none of it is going away. But the real question is, will you let it break you, or will you rise above it? Because stress doesn't come from what happens to you, it comes from how you react. The same situation can crush one man and make another stronger. The difference isn't in the situation, it's in the mindset. You need to understand something right now. Stress is normal. It's part of life. It's wired into you for survival. Your body releases stress hormones when it senses danger, giving you the energy and focus to react. That's why, when you feel stressed, your heart beats faster, your muscles tense up, and your breathing changes. Your body thinks you're in a fight for survival, and sometimes that's useful. If you're in real danger, stress helps you react quickly. But the problem is, your brain doesn't know the difference between a real threat and an imagined one. It reacts the same way to a missed deadline as it would to a life or death situation. This is why people feel overwhelmed. Their minds are constantly triggering stress responses over things that don't actually threaten their survival. They worry about the future, regret the past, stress over things they can't control, and waste energy on problems that don't even exist yet. And all of this takes a toll. It weakens the body. It clouds the mind. It drains energy. It makes life feel heavier than it actually is. Think about the last time you were really stressed. How did it make you feel? Your mind was racing. Right, you couldn't think straight. Maybe you snapped at someone. Maybe you felt exhausted, even though you hadn't done anything physically demanding. That's because stress isn't just mental. It affects your whole body. It wears you down. And if you don't take control of it, it will destroy your health, your focus, and your happiness. But here's the good news. Stress is not permanent. It's not something you're stuck with. You can control it. You can train your mind to handle stress better, to stay calm under pressure, and to keep moving forward no matter what life throws at you. But it starts with one thing: understanding that stress does not come from the outside world. It comes from within you. People think stress is caused by their job, their relationship, their finances, or their responsibilities. But stress doesn't come from these things. It comes from how you perceive them. Two people can go through the exact same situation. One crumbles under pressure, the other remains calm and focused. The difference is in the mindset. A weak mind lets stress take over. A strong mind controls stress before it controls them. Look at the most successful people in the world. Do you think they live stress-free lives? No. They face massive pressure every single day. They deal with criticism, setbacks, failures, and overwhelming responsibilities. But they don't let stress stop them. They don't sit around complaining about how hard life is. They take action. They focus on what they can control. They keep their emotions in check. That's the difference between people who succeed and people who break under pressure. So how do you control stress? How do you train your mind to stay calm, no matter what happens? First, stop wasting energy on things you can't control. Most of what people stress about is completely out of their hands. They worry about the future, but the future hasn't happened yet. They regret the past, but the past is already gone. All you have is this moment, right now. Focus on what you can do today. That's all that matters. Second, control your breath. When you're stressed, your breathing becomes shallow and fast. This tricks your body into thinking you're in danger, making stress even worse. The fastest way to calm down is to slow your breathing. Breathe in deeply through your nose. Hold it for a few seconds, then exhale slowly. Do this for a few minutes, and your body will start to relax. It's a simple technique, but it works. Third, simplify your life. People overload themselves with unnecessary stress. They take on too many responsibilities, say yes to things they don't want to do, and surround themselves with negativity. If something doesn't serve you, let it go. Protect your peace. A calm mind is a focused mind. Fourth, take care of your body. Stress is worse when you're physically weak. Eat clean. Exercise regularly. Get enough sleep. Your body and mind are connected. If you take care of one, you take care of the other. And finally, accept that stress will always exist, but you decide how it affects you. You don't have to react emotionally to every little problem. You don't have to let stress take over your life. The moment you realize you have control over your mind, stress loses its power. The truth is, life will never be completely stress-free. But that's not the goal. The goal is to become so strong that stress no longer controls you. To be able to face anything with a calm, steady mind. To handle problems with focus instead of panic. To move forward, no matter what happens. That's what separates those who succeed from those who break. Not the absence of stress, but the ability to rise above it. And you have that ability, you just have to train it. This is the first step to a calmer, more positive life. The next step, mastering mindfulness, the ability to stay present, focused and in control of your emotions at all times. That's what we'll cover in the next chapter. Because once you master your mind, stress will never control you again. Chapter 2. The power of mindfulness. Your mind is either your greatest weapon or your biggest enemy. It can make you unstoppable, or it can keep you trapped in a cycle of stress, doubt, and negativity. The difference isn't in your circumstances, it's in how present you are in your own life. Too many people live on autopilot, constantly distracted, worrying about things that don't matter, replaying the past, or stressing about the future. They never fully experience the moment they're in, and because of that, they never truly feel in control. But here's the truth, the present moment is the only thing that exists. The past is gone. The future hasn't happened yet. All you have is right now. And if you can train your mind to stay in this moment, to fully focus on where you are, what you're doing, and how you're feeling, you gain something most people never have: control over your own mind. That's the power of mindfulness. Most people don't even realize how much of their lives they spend lost in thought. Think about it. How often do you catch yourself going through the motions without really being aware? You're driving, but your mind is somewhere else. You're eating, but you barely taste your food. You're having a conversation, but you're only half listening because you're thinking about what to say next. This is how most people live, mentally scattered, always one step ahead or one step behind, never fully here. And this habit is destroying their ability to be happy, focused, and calm. The reason so many people feel overwhelmed isn't just because life is hard, it's because their mind is never where their body is. They're working, but they're thinking about something stressful. They're with family, but they're thinking about work. They're trying to sleep, but their mind won't shut up. It's exhausting, and the worst part, they don't even realize they're doing it. Mindfulness is the skill of bringing your attention back to the present moment, over and over again, until it becomes natural. It's training yourself to actually experience life instead of just rushing through it. It's learning to control your focus so that your mind works for you instead of against you. And when you master this, stress loses its grip on you. Think about how much unnecessary suffering comes from not being present. When you're lost in thought, you're usually worrying, regretting, overanalyzing, or stressing about things you can't control. Your mind creates problems that don't exist yet. You start feeling anxious about things that haven't even happened. You replay old mistakes like they define you. And all of it is a waste of energy. Mindfulness breaks this cycle by pulling you out of your head and into reality. Because the truth is, right now, in this moment, you're okay. You're breathing, you're alive, you're here. And if you fully pay attention to this moment, what you see, what you hear, what you feel, you'll realize that most of the stress in your life doesn't come from what's happening. It comes from what you're thinking. The good news, you can train your mind to be present. It's not something you either have or don't have. It's a skill, and like any skill, the more you practice, the better you get. One of the simplest and most powerful ways to do this is through breathing. Your breath is always in the present moment. You can't breathe in the past. You can't breathe in the future. If you focus on your breathing, you automatically pull yourself back into the now. Right now, take a deep breath in through your nose. Hold it for a few seconds. Now exhale slowly. Do it again. Feel the air going in. Feel it going out. Pay attention to it. That's mindfulness. That's being present. And the more you do this throughout your day, when you feel stressed, when your mind starts racing, the stronger your ability to stay in the moment becomes. Another powerful practice is conscious awareness. Whatever you're doing, do it completely. If you're walking, feel your footsteps. If you're drinking water, taste it. If you're listening to someone, really listen. Don't just wait for your turn to talk. The goal is to train your focus so that instead of being controlled by random thoughts, you control where your attention goes. At first, this won't be easy. Your mind will wander. That's normal. The key isn't to stop your thoughts. That's impossible. The key is to notice when you've drifted and bring your attention back to the present, over and over again. That's the training. That's the work. And over time, it becomes second nature. Imagine what your life would be like if you weren't constantly lost in your own head. If you didn't waste energy on things that don't matter. If you could fully focus on what's in front of you instead of being pulled in 1,000 directions. That's what mindfulness gives you. It makes you sharper, calmer, more in control. It allows you to handle stress with clarity instead of panic. And most importantly, It gives you the ability to actually experience your life instead of rushing through it. Most people are waiting to be happy. They think, I'll be happy when I have more money. I'll be happy when I have less stress. I'll be happy when my problems go away. But happiness isn't in the future. It's right here, in this moment. And if you can train yourself to be fully present, you'll realize you don't need anything else to feel at peace. You just need to pay attention to what's already here. So starting today, practice mindfulness. Train your focus. Control your attention. When you catch yourself lost in thought, bring yourself back. Feel your breath. Feel your body. Feel the moment you're in. That's the key to staying calm, clear, and in control, no matter what life throws at you. This is how you reclaim your mind. This is how you break free from stress. And this is how you start living. Not just existing, but truly living. Chapter 3. The importance of gratitude. If you can't be happy with what you have now, you'll never be happy with what you get later. That's the truth most people don't want to hear. They chase after more money, more success, more recognition, thinking that once they reach a certain point, they'll finally feel at peace. But it never works, because happiness isn't something you find in the future. It's something you create in the present. And the only way to do that is through gratitude. Most people don't realize this, but their unhappiness isn't caused by their circumstances. It's caused by their focus. They spend all their time thinking about what's missing, what's wrong, what they don't have. And the more they focus on those things, the more miserable they feel. It's a cycle. The human brain is wired to look for problems, to focus on what's lacking, to always want more. That's why so many people, no matter how much they achieve, still feel empty inside. They never trained themselves to appreciate what they already have. Gratitude is the one thing that can completely shift your perspective on life. It's not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing to see the good that's already there. And when you do that, everything changes. Stress fades. Frustration disappears. You start feeling lighter, calmer, more at peace with yourself and your life. Because instead of focusing on what you don't have, you start seeing how much you do. Think about it. Right now, you have things that someone else is praying for. You have food, shelter, your health, your freedom. You have people who care about you. You have opportunities. You have another day to live. And yet most people wake up every morning and immediately focus on what's wrong, their bills, their problems, their stress. They don't even take a second to appreciate the simple fact that they're alive. And that's why they feel stuck in negativity. The truth is, gratitude isn't just a nice idea. It's a mental discipline. It's a habit that separates people who are truly fulfilled from those who are constantly chasing happiness but never finding it. And like any habit, it takes practice. If you don't train your mind to be grateful, it will default to negativity. That's just how the brain works. It's designed for survival, not happiness. It looks for threats, problems, things to fix. That's why you have to consciously shift your focus every single day. A simple way to do this is to start your mornings with gratitude. Before you even get out of bed, take a moment to acknowledge 3 things you're grateful for. It doesn't have to be anything huge. It could be something as simple as, I woke up today. I have another chance. I have food to eat. I have a roof over my head. The point isn't to just say these things. It's to feel them. To really sit with the fact that you have things in your life that make it better. When you start your day like this, you set the tone for everything else. Another powerful practice is writing it down. Get a notebook, and every night, List 5 things you're grateful for that day. The key is to be specific. Instead of just writing, "I'm grateful for my family," think about why. Maybe your friend checked up on you. Maybe your partner made you laugh. Maybe a stranger showed you kindness. The more detailed you are, the more real it feels. And the more real it feels, the more your brain starts looking for these moments throughout the day. Most people don't realize this, but your brain is like a filter. It notices whatever you train it to notice. If you always focus on stress, your brain will find more stress. If you focus on gratitude, your brain will start seeing more reasons to be grateful. That's why the simple act of writing things down can be life-changing. It shifts your mental filter. Instead of constantly seeing what's wrong, you start naturally noticing what's right. And don't just keep gratitude to yourself. Express it. When someone does something for you, tell them you appreciate it. Say thank you more often. Show the people in your life that you notice them, that you value them, because gratitude isn't just about feeling good, it's about giving back. The more you express it, the more it strengthens your relationships. And the stronger your relationships, the happier and more fulfilled you feel. Some people hear this and think, but what about when life is hard? How am I supposed to be grateful when I'm struggling? And that's exactly when gratitude matters the most. Anyone can be grateful when things are going well, but real strength comes from being able to find something to appreciate even in the middle of difficulty. Because no matter how bad things get, there's always something. Maybe it's the lesson you're learning. Maybe it's the fact that you're still fighting. Maybe it's just the fact that you're still breathing, still standing, still pushing forward. Gratitude doesn't mean ignoring your problems. It means refusing to let them blind you to the good that still exists. The most powerful thing about gratitude is that it makes you stronger. It stops you from being a victim. It shifts your mindset from "why is this happening to me?" to "what can I learn from this?" It forces you to look at your challenges in a different way. And when you do that, you become unstoppable. Because no matter what happens, you're in control of how you see it. Gratitude is a choice. It's not something that just happens. It's something you train yourself to practice every single day. And the more you do it, the more natural it becomes. You stop waiting for happiness and start creating it. You stop needing more and start appreciating what's already there. And when that happens, you realize that peace isn't something you have to chase. It's something you've had all along. So starting today, shift your focus, train your mind to see the good. Wake up with gratitude, end your day with it. Express it to the people around you. And no matter what's happening in your life, always find something to appreciate. Because happiness isn't about having more, it's about noticing what you already have. Chapter 4: Self-Care Essentials. If you don't take care of yourself, no one else will. That's the truth. The world will keep demanding more from you, your job, your family, your responsibilities. Everyone will expect you to show up, handle things, be reliable. But here's the problem. If you keep giving without ever refueling, eventually you'll run empty. And when that happens, stress, exhaustion and burnout will take over your life. Most people don't even realize how badly they're neglecting themselves until it's too late. They push through fatigue. They ignore stress. They tell themselves they'll rest later. But later never comes. And before they know it, they're trapped in a cycle of frustration, low energy, and constant irritation. The worst part, they think this is normal. They think this is just how life is supposed to feel. But it's not. Life isn't meant to be a constant struggle. You don't have to wake up every day feeling drained, overwhelmed, or disconnected. The problem isn't life. It's how you're treating yourself. Self-care isn't some luxury. It's not something you do when you have time. It's a necessity. It's the foundation for everything else in your life. Because when you take care of yourself, everything improves. Your mood, your relationships, your energy, your focus. But when you neglect yourself, everything suffers. You snap at people. You lose motivation. You stop enjoying life. That's why self-care has to be a priority, not an afterthought. So let's get this straight. Self-care isn't just about taking bubble baths or lighting candles. It's about doing what you need to stay mentally, emotionally, and physically strong. And that means discipline. That means making decisions that are good for you, even when you don't feel like it. Because real self-care isn't just about comfort. It's about respecting yourself enough to do what's best for you, even when it's hard. Start with your body. If you're constantly tired, sluggish, or sick, your body is screaming for your attention. Are you getting enough sleep? Are you drinking enough water? Are you fueling yourself with real food? Or just whatever's convenient? Your body is what carries you through life, and if you're not taking care of it, everything else suffers. People act like running on caffeine, junk food, and 4 hours of sleep is normal. It's not. It's self-destruction in slow motion. You can't expect your mind to function properly when your body is running on fumes. So take care of it. Move every day, even if it's just a walk. Eat food that gives you energy instead of draining it. Give yourself the rest you need. And let's talk about your mind. Most people don't realize how much damage they're doing to themselves by what they consume daily. Scrolling endlessly through social media, comparing their lives to strangers, feeding their minds with negativity, distractions, and garbage. If you constantly expose yourself to stress, bad news, and toxic influences, how do you think that's going to make you feel? Exactly. Like garbage. Your mind needs better fuel. Start paying attention to what you allow in. Read books that help you grow. Listen to things that inspire you. Limit the time you spend on things that make you feel drained, because what you consume mentally affects how you feel emotionally. And then there's emotional self-care. Let's be honest, most people bottle up their emotions. They ignore them, suppress them, or drown them in distractions. But emotions don't just disappear. They build up, and if you don't process them, they'll come out in other ways: anger, stress, anxiety, even physical illness. You have to give yourself permission to feel what you feel. If something is bothering you, acknowledge it. If you need to talk to someone, do it. If you need time alone, take it. Stop acting like your emotions don't matter. They do, and ignoring them doesn't make you stronger. It just makes things worse in the long run. One of the biggest lies people tell themselves is, "I don't have time for self-care." But here's the truth. You don't have time not to. Because every moment you spend neglecting yourself is a moment you're lowering your own quality of life. And if you keep running on empty, eventually you'll crash. That's not a possibility. That's a guarantee. Self-care doesn't mean you have to completely change your life overnight. It starts with small, consistent choices. Get up 10 minutes earlier to sit in silence and breathe. Replace one unhealthy meal with something better. Take a few minutes at the end of the day to check in with yourself instead of numbing out with distractions. Make yourself a priority in little ways, and those little ways will add up to something big. At the end of the day, this isn't about indulgence, it's about responsibility. You are responsible for how you feel. You are responsible for your energy, your mindset, your well-being. No one else can do this for you. And if you keep waiting for the right time to start taking care of yourself, you'll be waiting forever. The right time is now. So stop treating self-care like an option. Stop acting like burnout is normal. Start making decisions that support you. Because when you take care of yourself, everything in your life gets better. And you deserve better. Chapter 5. Building a positive mindset. Your mind is either your greatest weapon or your worst enemy. It determines how you see the world, how you react to challenges, and ultimately how you live your life. Most people don't even realize they're fighting against themselves every single day. They wake up already thinking about everything that could go wrong. They expect failure before they even try. They talk themselves out of opportunities before they take the first step. And then they wonder why life feels so heavy, why they're always stressed, why they never seem to get ahead. Negativity is a disease, and it spreads faster than you think. It starts small: doubt, frustration, irritation, and before you know it, it becomes your entire outlook on life. But here's the truth. Negativity is a choice, just like positivity is a choice. No, you don't control what happens to you, but you do control how you respond. And how you respond is what shapes your reality. Think about it. Two people can go through the same exact struggle, but one comes out stronger while the other falls apart. Why? Mindset. The way you choose to think about your problems determines whether they break you or build you. That's why developing a positive mindset isn't just about feeling good. It's about building mental strength so you don't get defeated every time life gets tough. Because it will get tough. That's guaranteed. The real question is, will you control your mind, or will your mind control you? People misunderstand positivity. They think it means ignoring problems or pretending everything is fine when it's not. That's nonsense. A positive mindset isn't about lying to yourself. It's about training yourself to see the bigger picture, to find solutions instead of dwelling on problems, to focus on what you can control instead of wasting energy on what you can't. It's about having the discipline to shift your thinking when negativity starts creeping in, because negativity will always try to creep in. And if you don't train your mind to fight back, you'll get stuck in a cycle of self-doubt, fear, and excuses. So how do you shift your mindset? It starts with awareness. Pay attention to the way you talk to yourself. Most people don't even realize how much damage they do with their own thoughts. They say things like, "I'm not good enough," "I'll never succeed," "This is just my luck." And they say it so often that it becomes their reality. If you constantly feed your mind negative thoughts, you'll create a negative life. Period. You have to interrupt the pattern. When a negative thought comes up, catch it. Replace it with something better. Instead of "I'll never figure this out," say, "I'll find a way." Instead of "I always fail," say, "Every failure is a lesson that gets me closer to success." At first it might feel forced. That's normal. Your mind has been programmed to think a certain way for years. You're not going to change it overnight. But the more you challenge your negative thoughts, the weaker they become. What you focus on grows. If you constantly look for problems, you'll find them everywhere. If you constantly look for opportunities, you'll find those too. That's why gratitude is so powerful. It forces you to shift your focus. Instead of waking up thinking about what's wrong, you start focusing on what's right. And no, this isn't about ignoring reality. It's about choosing to see the good despite the bad. Start small. Every morning before you grab your phone, before you check emails, take a second to acknowledge something you're grateful for. It doesn't have to be deep. It can be as simple as "I woke up today," because let's be real, some people didn't. If you train your mind to focus on what you have instead of what you lack, you'll start seeing life differently. You'll stop feeling like a victim. You'll stop waiting for happiness and start creating it. You also have to be mindful of who and what you surround yourself with. If you constantly listen to negativity, whether it's the news, toxic people, or even your own inner dialogue, your mind will absorb it. You can't expect to have a positive mindset if you're constantly feeding it negativity. Protect your energy. Cut out the people who drain you. Limit the time you spend on things that make you feel worse. Instead, surround yourself with things that make you stronger. Read books that inspire you. Listen to people who challenge you to grow. Your environment plays a huge role in your mindset, and if you don't control it, it will control you. And let's be clear, building a positive mindset doesn't mean you'll never feel stressed, angry, or frustrated. That's part of being human. The difference is, you won't stay stuck in those emotions. You'll recognize them, process them, and then move forward. That's what makes you mentally strong. Most people wait for life to get easier before they start thinking positively. They say, I'll be happy when I have more money. I'll be positive when my problems go away. But that's backward. Your mindset has to change first. The way you think determines the way you act, and the way you act determines the results you get. If you want a better life, it starts in your mind. Not tomorrow. Not when things magically improve. Now, stop feeding yourself excuses. Stop blaming your past, your circumstances, or other people. Take control of your thoughts. Train your mind to focus on solutions. Protect your energy. Start seeing life through a lens of possibility instead of limitation. It won't be easy, but nothing worth having ever is. The choice is yours. Stay stuck in negativity, or take control and start creating the life you actually want. Chapter 6. Managing emotional responses. Your emotions are not the problem. It's how you react to them that determines whether they control you or you control them. Most people don't realize this, but the way you handle your emotions shapes everything in your life. Your relationships, your decisions, your success, even your happiness. The people who lose control of their emotions end up making decisions they regret. They let anger push them into fights, fear stop them from taking action, sadness keep them stuck in the past. And then they blame the world for why their life isn't working. But the truth is, it's not the world, it's them. They never learned how to manage their emotions, and because of that, their emotions manage them. Now let's be clear, controlling your emotions doesn't mean suppressing them. It doesn't mean pretending you don't feel anything or forcing yourself to be happy when you're not. That's fake, and fake never lasts. Managing your emotions means recognizing them, understanding them, and choosing how to respond instead of letting them take over. It's about discipline, emotional discipline. Think about it. How many times have you reacted in the heat of the moment and then regretted it later? Maybe you snapped at someone because you were frustrated. Maybe you let fear talk you out of an opportunity. Maybe you let doubt stop you from doing something you wanted to do. That's what happens when you let emotions drive your decisions. You act without thinking, and later you wish you had done things differently. The good news, you can change that. It all starts with awareness. Before you can control your emotions, you have to notice them. You have to catch yourself before you react. Most people don't even realize when their emotions are taking over. They just act. But the moment you recognize what's happening, you gain power over it. When you feel anger rising, stop. When fear creeps in, notice it. When sadness pulls you down, become aware of it. Because once you see it, you have a choice. Do you let it control you, or do you take a step back and decide how you want to respond? One of the best ways to control your emotions is to slow down. Emotions make you react fast, but that doesn't mean you have to. Take a breath. Give yourself a few seconds before you speak, before you act, before you make a decision you can't take back. A few seconds can save you from an argument, a bad choice, or a situation you regret later. That's the difference between someone who owns their emotions and someone who is owned by their emotions. Another thing that helps: question your emotions. Most people feel something and assume it's true. They feel like a failure, so they believe they are one. They feel like someone disrespected them, so they assume it was intentional. But emotions aren't always facts. Just because you feel something doesn't mean it's reality. Learn to challenge your emotions instead of blindly following them. Ask yourself, is this really true? Am I overreacting? Will this matter a week from now? These questions force you to think instead of just feel. And when you think, you make better choices. Your environment also plays a huge role in your emotional control. If you're constantly surrounded by negativity, people who stress you out, social media that fuels your anger, news that fills you with fear, your emotions will be all over the place. You can't expect to feel calm and in control if you're feeding your mind chaos every day. Protect your space. Limit your exposure to things that trigger negative emotions. Surround yourself with things that make you stronger, not weaker. And let's not forget the importance of taking care of yourself. Your emotions are tied to your body. If you're not sleeping well, if you're not eating right, if you're not moving your body, your emotional state will suffer. You'll be more irritable, more anxious, more reactive. That's not a coincidence. Your mind and body are connected. When you take care of your body, your mind becomes stronger. You also have to understand that emotions are temporary. Whatever you're feeling right now, anger, sadness, frustration, it will pass. It always does. But when you react emotionally, you often make permanent decisions based on temporary feelings. That's a mistake. Just because you feel hopeless today doesn't mean you'll feel that way tomorrow. Just because you're angry now doesn't mean you'll care about it next week. Don't let a moment of emotion create a lifetime of regret. Some people might say, "But I can't help how I feel." That's true. You can't always control what you feel, but you can control what you do with those feelings. You can choose whether to feed them or let them go. You can choose whether to let them dictate your actions or take a step back and think. And that choice, that's what separates strong people from weak people. So next time you feel overwhelmed by an emotion, pause, recognize it, question it, take a breath, decide how you want to respond before you react. Because once you master your emotions, you master yourself. And when you master yourself, nothing, no situation, no person, no challenge can break you. Chapter 7. The role of physical health. Your body is the foundation of your mind. If you don't take care of it, you will struggle with everything else in life. Your focus, your discipline, your emotions, your energy, your ability to handle stress. People talk about mental strength, but they forget that mental strength is built on physical strength. You cannot have a sharp mind if your body is weak, exhausted, and neglected. Most people don't realize how much their physical health affects their mental state. They feel sluggish, anxious, or unmotivated, and assume that's just life. But in reality, a lot of those feelings come from how they treat their body. The food they eat, the amount of sleep they get, the movement or lack of movement in their daily routine. It all plays a role in how they feel mentally. The mind and body are not separate. They work together. And if your body is suffering, your mind will suffer too. Think about it. When was the last time you got real, quality sleep for several nights in a row? When was the last time you ate food that actually fueled your body, instead of making you feel tired and bloated? When was the last time you pushed yourself physically, whether that was lifting weights, running, or simply moving your body for an extended period? If you're constantly drained, if your mood swings up and down, if you struggle to focus, there's a good chance your physical health is holding you back. You don't need to become a fitness fanatic, but you do need to respect your body. Your body is the vehicle that carries you through life. If you neglect it, everything else suffers. The good news, small changes can make a huge difference. Start with the basics. Move more, eat better, sleep well. These things sound simple, but most people ignore them. Instead, they look for quick fixes. They rely on caffeine to get through the day. They use distractions to numb their stress instead of addressing the real problem. They wait until their body forces them to make a change, whether that's through illness, burnout, or chronic fatigue. Don't be that person. Take control now before your body forces you to. Movement is key. Humans are not built to sit all day. If you're constantly tired or in a bad mood, one of the best things you can do is get up and move. Exercise is not just about looking good. It's about feeling strong, energized, and in control. When you push your body, your mind becomes sharper. You handle stress better. You become more disciplined. That's why successful people prioritize exercise. It's not about vanity. It's about performance. They know that if their body is weak, their mind will be weak too. And no, you don't need to spend hours in the gym, but you do need to challenge yourself physically. Go for a run. Lift something heavy. Do bodyweight exercises. Walk instead of scrolling on your phone. Move in a way that makes you stronger, not weaker. The more you move, the better you'll feel. That's not an opinion. That's science. Food is another major factor. You cannot expect to feel good mentally if you're constantly filling your body with junk. The food you eat either fuels your energy or drains it. Most people eat for convenience, not for performance. Then they wonder why they feel sluggish, foggy, or unmotivated. If your diet is full of processed food, sugar, and chemicals, your body has to work overtime just to function, and that affects your brain. Poor nutrition leads to mood swings, anxiety, and lack of focus. On the other hand, when you eat real, whole foods, lean proteins, vegetables, healthy fats, and clean carbs, you feel the difference almost immediately. Your energy stabilizes. Your mind becomes clearer. Your emotions are easier to control. You think better because your brain is getting the nutrients it actually needs. And then there's sleep, the most underrated factor in mental and physical health. People brag about running on 5 hours of sleep like it's some badge of honor. But here's the truth. Lack of sleep makes you weak. It makes you slower, more emotional, less disciplined. It lowers your ability to handle stress and make smart decisions. You might get away with it for a while, but over time, your body will break down. Sleep is not optional. It's the foundation of your recovery. And if you're constantly tired, no amount of caffeine, motivation, or mindset tricks will make up for it. So, if you want to feel better, think clearer, and have more control over your emotions, start with the basics. Move your body, eat real food, get enough sleep. These aren't hacks, they're requirements. They're what your body needs to function at its best. And when your body functions at its best, your mind follows. You become stronger. Not just physically, but mentally. You handle stress better. You have more patience, more discipline, more energy. The way you treat your body is a direct reflection of how much you respect yourself. If you neglect it, you're telling yourself that your health doesn't matter. But if you take care of it, you're setting yourself up for a stronger, more resilient life. It's not about perfection. It's about progress. It's about making choices that make you better, not worse. Because at the end of the day, your physical health is not just about how you look. it's about how you live. Chapter 8. Establishing healthy boundaries. If you don't set boundaries in life, people will walk all over you. They will take your time, drain your energy, and leave you exhausted without a second thought. That's not because people are necessarily bad. It's because you teach them how to treat you. If you let people disrespect your time, they'll keep doing it. If you let others guilt trip you into doing things you don't want to do, they'll keep doing it. If you say yes when you really want to say no, you'll find yourself drowning in obligations that don't serve you. This isn't just about protecting your time. It's about protecting your peace, your self-respect, and your ability to live life on your terms. Most people struggle with boundaries because they don't want to disappoint others. They fear rejection, conflict, or the feeling of being selfish. But here's the truth. Not setting boundaries is what actually leads to resentment, exhaustion, and self-doubt. When you constantly put other people's needs before your own, you start to feel like your life doesn't belong to you. You're always chasing approval, avoiding confrontation, and stretching yourself too thin. Eventually that will break you. Boundaries are not about shutting people out. They are about teaching people how to treat you. They're about creating space for yourself so you can give your best to the things and people that truly matter. When you don't have boundaries, you're always running on empty. You're saying yes to things you don't want to do. You're spending time with people who drain you. You're constantly overwhelmed because you're taking on more than you can handle. And the worst part, you blame yourself for feeling exhausted, instead of realizing that the problem is lack of boundaries. Imagine for a second that you respected your own time as much as you respect other people's. Imagine if you only said yes when you actually meant it. Imagine if you stopped explaining yourself every time you chose what was best for you. How different would your life be? You'd feel lighter. You'd have more energy. You'd attract people who actually respect you instead of people who just want to use you. Setting boundaries is not easy, especially if you've spent your whole life trying to please others. But if you don't start, you will keep living for everyone else except yourself. It begins with the smallest decisions. When someone asks you for a favor that you don't want to do, instead of immediately saying yes, pause. Ask yourself, do I actually want to do this? Or am I just afraid of saying no? If the answer is no, respect that. You don't need an excuse. You don't need to feel guilty. Just say, I can't do that right now. That's it. You don't owe anyone an explanation for prioritizing your own well-being. The people who truly care about you will respect your boundaries. The ones who get angry, those are the ones who were benefiting from your lack of boundaries in the first place. Pay attention to who reacts negatively when you start standing up for yourself. That will tell you everything you need to know about who actually values you versus who just wants to take advantage of you. And it's not just about saying no. It's about making it clear how you want to be treated. If someone disrespects you, address it. If someone constantly drains your energy, limit your interactions with them. If a situation makes you feel uncomfortable, leave. Stop second-guessing yourself. Stop feeling guilty for putting yourself first. If you keep allowing toxic behavior, you are giving those people permission to keep treating you that way. Look at the relationships in your life. Who makes you feel lighter when you're around them? Who makes you feel drained? Who respects your time? And who constantly crosses the line? Pay attention to these things. The people you allow into your life have a huge impact on your mental and emotional health. You do not owe anyone access to your time and energy just because they want it. You choose who gets to be in your life, and if someone makes you feel like less than you are, you have every right to walk away. You'll also notice that when you set boundaries, you gain more self-respect. When you say no to things that don't serve you, you send a message to yourself that your time and energy matter. And the more you respect yourself, the more others will respect you too. People treat you the way you allow them to treat you. If you allow constant disrespect, manipulation, or overstepping, that's what you'll get. But if you make it clear that you value yourself, others will have no choice but to follow that lead. This is about reclaiming your power. It's about living life on your terms, instead of constantly being at the mercy of other people's wants and needs. It doesn't mean you stop helping others. It doesn't mean you become selfish. It means you help and give without sacrificing yourself in the process. You cannot pour from an empty cup. If you are constantly drained, you cannot give your best to the people and things that actually matter. So today, start small. Say no to something that doesn't align with your values. Speak up when someone crosses a line. Limit time with people who drain you. These little changes will change your life. Because the moment you stop living for everyone else, the moment you decide that your peace and well-being matter, you become unstoppable. Chapter 9. The Art of Letting Go. If you don't control your emotions will control you. And when that happens, you become a slave to every frustration, every setback, and every person who tries to get under your skin. You cannot afford to let temporary emotions dictate permanent decisions. You cannot afford to let a bad mood ruin your progress. Because the truth is, life will never stop testing you. People will push your buttons. Things will go wrong. Stress, disappointment, and frustration are inevitable. But how you respond, that's what separates the weak from the strong. Most people live their lives on autopilot, reacting to everything around them without any self-awareness. Someone cuts them off in traffic, and they explode. Their boss criticizes them, and they spend the rest of the day in a bad mood. They get rejected, and they spiral into self-doubt. And the worst part, they justify it. They tell themselves, "I can't help it. That's just how I am." But that's a lie. The truth is, they haven't trained themselves to master their emotions. And if you don't train yourself, the world will train you into becoming someone who is easily offended, easily shaken, and easily manipulated. Mastering your emotions does not mean you suppress them. It does not mean you pretend you're fine when you're not. It means you control your response instead of letting your emotions dictate your actions. It means you pause before you react. It means you develop the ability to experience emotions without being consumed by them. Imagine how much more powerful you would be if you didn't let anger, fear, or insecurity control your decisions. Imagine being calm when everyone else is losing their minds. Imagine responding with logic instead of impulse. That's strength. That's power. The first step is self-awareness. You cannot change what you don't recognize. Pay attention to your triggers. What situations make you lose control? What words get under your skin? What patterns do you keep repeating? The moment you become aware of these things, you take back control. Because now, instead of reacting blindly, you can choose how to respond. The second step is emotional discipline. This is where most people fail. They know they need to control their emotions, but they don't practice it. And just like any other skill, if you don't practice, you won't improve. Start small. When you feel anger rising, don't react immediately. Take a deep breath. Delay your response. Give yourself time to think, instead of just reacting. When you feel overwhelmed, instead of panicking, slow down. Ask yourself, what is the best response to this situation? Not the easiest response, not the most comfortable response, but the best response. The third step is detachment. This is what makes the greatest minds in history different from the rest. They do not let external chaos create internal chaos. They see problems, but they don't panic. They hear criticism, but they don't take it personally. They feel emotions, but they don't let those emotions control them. This is what you need to develop, the ability to observe your emotions without being controlled by them. Think about the last time you lost your temper. Did it help? Did it solve the problem? Or did it make things worse? Think about the last time you let fear stop you. Did it protect you? Or did it rob you of an opportunity? Think about the last time you let self-doubt keep you stuck. Did it push you forward? Or did it hold you back? Every time you let emotions take over, you give up your power. And power is something you should never hand over so easily. You need to build emotional resilience. Life is not going to go easy on you. You will be tested over and over again. People will try to break you. Situations will push you to your limits. And in those moments, your ability to stay calm, to stay focused, and to stay in control will determine whether you rise or fall. When you learn to master your emotions, you become unshakable. You stop reacting like everyone else. You stop getting offended over small things. You stop allowing circumstances to dictate your mindset. You become the one who dictates how you feel, how you act, and how you move forward. This is what separates the leaders from the followers, the ones who succeed from the ones who stay stuck. The moment you stop letting emotions control you, the moment you take charge of your responses, that's when everything changes. Because now, you're in control, not your anger, not your fear, not your insecurities. You. And when you control your emotions, you control your life. Chapter 10. Cultivating Resilience. If you can't control yourself, the world will control you. That's the reality. Every weakness you refuse to fix becomes an open door for distractions, failures, and regrets to walk right in. Discipline is not something you're born with, it's something you build, and those who lack it spend their entire lives being ruled by their impulses, their emotions, and their excuses. They chase comfort, but comfort is a trap. It lulls you into a life of mediocrity, and before you know it, years have passed, and you've accomplished nothing. Most people talk about success. They dream about it. They admire those who have it. But when it's time to put in the work, they hesitate. They wait for the right moment. They wait until they feel like it. But discipline is doing what needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. It's getting up early when your body begs you to sleep. It's going to the gym when you'd rather be lazy. It's working on your goals when everyone else is out wasting time. The truth is, most people will never achieve their full potential because they are addicted to comfort. They don't want to feel discomfort, so they avoid hard things. But the hard things are exactly what build strength, confidence, and success. Look at the most successful people in the world. They didn't get there by accident. They built their success on discipline, on consistency, on pushing themselves even when they didn't feel like it. And if you're not willing to do the same, then you will never reach the level you claim you want. Because talent alone is not enough. Intelligence alone is not enough. Even motivation is not enough. Motivation fades, but discipline stays. You have to train yourself to be disciplined. It doesn't just happen. Every time you choose discipline over weakness, you strengthen your self-control. Every time you ignore your excuses and push forward, you become stronger. And over time, that strength becomes who you are. But if you keep giving in to your weaknesses, if you keep skipping the hard work, you will always be ruled by your laziness, your doubts, and your fears. Think about how much time you've already wasted waiting for the perfect moment, waiting until you felt ready, waiting until life got easier. And where has that gotten you? Nowhere. And if you keep waiting, the next 5 years will pass, and you'll still be stuck in the same place. That should scare you. That should wake you up. Because every single day you waste is a day you will never get back. You need to stop expecting life to be easy. Stop waiting for motivation. Stop letting emotions dictate your actions. You need to become the kind of person who gets things done, no matter what. No excuses, no delays, just action. Do you think winners always feel like pushing themselves? Do you think champions always feel motivated? No, they show up regardless. They do what they need to do regardless, because they understand that discipline is the foundation of all success. It's time to stop talking and start doing. It's time to break the cycle of procrastination. It's time to stop blaming circumstances and start taking responsibility. Your future self is depending on you. The version of you that is stronger, smarter, and more successful is waiting. But you will never meet that version of yourself if you keep making the same weak choices. Right now, make a decision. A real decision. Decide that from this moment forward, you will no longer be ruled by weakness. Decide that from now on, you will do what needs to be done, no matter how you feel. Because the second you stop negotiating with yourself, the second you stop allowing excuses, that's when everything changes. That's when you take control of your life. That's when you become unstoppable. Chapter 11. Connecting with nature. Your emotions are either your greatest weapon or your biggest weakness. If you don't control them, they will control you. And the truth is, most people let their emotions run their lives. They react instead of respond. They let anger make their decisions. They let fear stop them from taking action. They let sadness keep them stuck in the past. But you cannot afford to be one of those people. If you want to succeed in life, you have to learn how to master your emotions instead of being a slave to them. Think about how many times emotions have led you in the wrong direction. How many times has anger made you say something you regret? How many times has fear held you back from taking an opportunity? How many times have you let stress or sadness drain your energy and kill your motivation? This is why mastering your emotions is so important, because if you can't control yourself, you'll always be at the mercy of whatever life throws at you. The world doesn't care how you feel. Life doesn't pause just because you're having a bad day. And success doesn't wait for you to be in the right mood. If you only take action when you feel good, you'll never get anywhere. Because there will be days when you're tired. There will be days when you're frustrated. There will be days when you feel like quitting. And in those moments you have two choices. You can let your emotions win, or you can push through anyway. Emotional discipline is what separates the weak from the strong. It's the difference between those who let life control them and those who take control of their own lives. When you master your emotions, you don't react. You respond. You don't make impulsive decisions based on temporary feelings. You don't let anger, fear, or doubt dictate your actions. You stay calm, you stay focused, and you move forward no matter what. This doesn't mean you ignore your emotions. It doesn't mean you suppress them or pretend they don't exist. It means you understand them. You recognize when they're trying to control you and you take back your power. You acknowledge the fear, but you don't let it stop you. You feel the anger, but you don't let it make you reckless. You experience the sadness, but you don't let it break you. You become stronger than your emotions. One of the biggest lies people believe is that their emotions are facts. But emotions are not facts. Just because you feel like a failure doesn't mean you are one. Just because you feel like you're not good enough doesn't mean it's true. Just because you feel hopeless doesn't mean there's no hope. Your emotions are temporary, but your actions create your reality. And the sooner you understand this, the sooner you take control of your life. You can't afford to let emotions make your decisions. If you do, you'll live a life of regret. You'll make choices in moments of weakness that will cost you for years. You'll lose opportunities because fear convinced you to hesitate. You'll damage relationships because anger made you say things you didn't mean. You'll waste years feeling stuck because sadness convinced you to give up. But when you master your emotions, you don't make decisions based on how you feel in the moment. You make decisions based on where you want to be in the future. This is why emotional resilience is so important. Because life will test you. People will betray you. Plans will fail. Things will go wrong. And if you don't have control over your emotions, every setback will feel like the end of the world. But when you're emotionally strong, nothing can break you. You don't let failures define you. You don't let negativity affect your mindset. You don't let fear control your actions. You keep moving forward, no matter what. Think about the most successful people in the world. They didn't get there by being emotionally weak. They got there because they learned how to keep going, even when things got hard. They learned how to push through fear, how to stay focused under pressure, how to control their emotions instead of letting emotions control them. And if you want to reach your full potential, you have to do the same. You need to start training yourself to control your emotions. When you feel anger rising, stop and ask yourself, is this worth my energy? When fear creeps in, remind yourself, fear is a liar, and I refuse to listen. When sadness tries to drag you down, tell yourself, I am stronger than this feeling, and I will keep going. Train yourself to stay calm in chaos. Train yourself to think before you react. Train yourself to take action even when you don't feel like it. Your emotions are not your enemy, but they are not your master either. You have the power to choose how you respond to life. You have the power to remain calm under pressure. You have the power to push forward, even when everything in you wants to quit. And when you develop this kind of emotional strength, there is nothing in this world that can stop you. Chapter 12. The Impact of Social Connections. Silence is not weakness. It is not passivity. It is not an absence of power. It is power. The ability to stay calm, to observe, to think before you speak, to hold back when the world expects you to react. That is a rare strength. Most people don't understand this. They think power is about being loud, about making noise, about always having something to say. But the truth is, the strongest people in the world are the ones who know when to speak and when to remain silent. Silence gives you control. It gives you an advantage. It keeps you from saying things you'll regret. It stops you from reacting emotionally and making foolish decisions. It allows you to watch, to learn, to see the bigger picture before you act. It separates you from the weak, from those who waste their energy trying to prove themselves. Because a man who is truly confident doesn't need to announce his power, he simply is powerful. Think about the last time someone tried to provoke you. Maybe they insulted you. Maybe they tried to make you angry, to get a reaction out of you. And if you responded, if you let their words affect you, they won. That's what people don't realize. Every time you react emotionally, you give your power to someone else. But when you stay silent, when you refuse to engage in their games, you keep your power. You become untouchable. Silence is also the key to discipline. When you're silent, you have time to think, to reflect, to control your impulses. You don't say things just for the sake of filling space. You don't speak just because others expect you to. You talk when necessary, and when you do, people listen. Because your words carry weight. Your silence builds mystery. It creates respect. It makes people wonder what's going on in your mind, and that alone gives you an edge. There's a reason why the most powerful men in history were not the ones who spoke the loudest, but the ones who knew when to speak and when to remain silent. A man who talks too much reveals his weaknesses. He gives away his strategy. He exposes his emotions, but a man of silence. He keeps his plans close to his chest. He moves in silence and lets his results speak for him. This is especially important when it comes to personal discipline. The more you practice silence, the more control you have over yourself. It stops you from making emotional decisions. It helps you focus. It keeps you from wasting time on pointless arguments, on explaining yourself to people who don't deserve an explanation. Silence teaches patience. It teaches strength. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You don't need to explain your every move. You don't need to justify your dreams, your decisions, or your ambition. Let people think whatever they want. Let them underestimate you. Let them assume you're not capable. Because when the time comes, your actions will prove everything. And that will always be more powerful than words. So next time you feel the urge to react, to respond, to argue, ask yourself, is this worth my energy? Will this help me grow? Or am I just giving my power away? Most of the time, you'll realize that silence is the best answer. Stay quiet. Stay focused. Let your actions do the talking. That's how real power is built. Chapter 13. Practicing compassion. Your mind is either your greatest weapon or your biggest enemy. And whether you win or lose in life depends on how well you control it. Weak people let their emotions control them. They let fear stop them. They let doubt paralyze them. They let external circumstances dictate their mood, their effort, their entire existence. But strong people, winners, master their minds. They don't let their thoughts run wild. They don't let fear sit in the driver's seat. They train their minds the way a warrior trains his body. Because if you don't control your thoughts will control you. Think about how many times your own mind has sabotaged you. How many times have you talked yourself out of taking action? How many times have you let fear convince you to stay comfortable? How many times have you let negative thoughts make you believe you're not good enough, not strong enough, not ready? That's the war. And that war isn't fought outside. It's fought inside your own head. The truth is, most people don't even realize they're at war. They just go through life, following whatever thoughts pop into their heads, believing whatever doubts creep in, reacting to whatever emotions hit them. But if you want to win, if you want to be unstoppable, you have to wake up. You have to take control. You have to realize that every single thought you allow to take root in your mind is either making you stronger or making you weaker. And every single day, you have to choose which one you allow to grow. This is where discipline comes in. Discipline isn't just about waking up early or working hard. It's about training your mind to reject weakness. It's about forcing yourself to think strong when you feel weak, to push forward when everything in you wants to quit. It's about refusing to be controlled by fear, laziness or doubt. That's what separates the strong from the weak. And let's be real, most people don't have this kind of control. Most people live their entire lives as slaves to their emotions. If they feel tired, they don't push. If they feel scared, they don't take action. If they feel uncertain, they don't move forward. But emotions are temporary. They come and go. And if you let them dictate your life, you'll never accomplish anything great. Successful people don't let emotions control them. They feel the fear, but they move forward anyway. They feel the doubt, but they don't listen to it. They feel the exhaustion, but they push through. They don't wait to feel motivated. They don't wait for the perfect moment. They train their minds to act, regardless of how they feel. This is what separates the winners from everyone else. The winners don't have some magical gift. They don't have some secret formula. They just have control over their own minds. They don't allow negativity to take over. They don't let laziness win. They don't let distractions pull them away from their mission. And the more they practice this control, the stronger they become. So how do you build this kind of mindset? You start by becoming aware of your thoughts. Pay attention to them. When a weak thought enters your mind, shut it down. When fear starts to creep in, crush it. When doubt tries to hold you back, fight back. You have to train yourself to recognize these thoughts and eliminate them immediately. Because if you don't, they will grow. They will multiply. And before you know it, they will take over. You also need to feed your mind the right things. Stop listening to negativity. Stop surrounding yourself with weak-minded people. Stop consuming content that fills your mind with doubt, fear, and excuses. Fill your mind with strength. Read books that make you better. Listen to people who inspire you. Spend time with those who challenge you to be stronger. Your environment matters more than you think. But at the end of the day, none of this will work unless you apply it. You can't just sit here and agree with what I'm saying. You have to live it. You have to practice it every single day. You have to catch yourself in those moments when you want to quit, when you want to take the easy way out, and force yourself to keep going. That's how you build a strong mindset. That's how you become unshakable. It won't be easy. It will take time. But if you commit to it, if you make the decision right now that you will no longer be controlled by weakness, you will change your life. Because once you control your mind, you control everything. Chapter 14. Developing a growth mindset. Most people carry burdens they were never meant to carry. They hold on to pain, regret, anger, and things they cannot change. They let the past weigh them down, keeping them stuck in a cycle of suffering. But the truth is, the only way to truly be free is to accept what is and let go of what no longer serves you. Life will not always go the way you planned. People will disappoint you. Situations will test you. You will lose things, and sometimes, no matter how hard you try, you won't be able to fix what's broken. But here's what most people don't realize. Suffering isn't caused by what happens to you. It's caused by your resistance to it. The more you fight reality, the more you suffer. The more you cling to what's already gone, the more you hurt. Acceptance is not about giving up. It's not about being passive or weak. It's about facing reality with strength and clarity. It's about looking at your life exactly as it is, without illusion or denial, and making peace with it. Because when you accept what is, you free yourself from unnecessary pain. You stop wasting energy fighting battles you cannot win, and you start focusing on what you can control. Think about it. How much time do you spend wishing things were different? How much energy do you waste replaying the past, holding on to grudges, or obsessing over things you can't change? Now imagine what your life would look like if you stopped. If you just accepted things as they are, and redirected all that energy into something that actually moves you forward. That's power. That's freedom. Letting go does not mean you stop caring. It does not mean you erase your past or pretend things never happened. It simply means you refuse to let those things control you any longer. It means you take back your power. It means you acknowledge the pain, the disappointment, the loss, and you make a conscious decision to move forward anyway. Some of the strongest people in the world are not the ones who fight the hardest, but the ones who know when to walk away. They understand that holding on to something that's already broken does nothing but cut deeper wounds. They choose peace over chaos. They choose growth over resentment. They choose to let go, not because it's easy, but because they know their future is worth more than their past. But here's the thing, letting go is not a one-time decision. It's a daily practice. It's waking up every day and refusing to let the past define you. It's choosing, over and over again, to release what no longer serves you. Some days it will be easy, other days it will feel impossible. But the more you do it, the lighter you become. The more you release, the more space you create for something better. This applies to everything in life. Your mistakes, your failures, your disappointments, and even the people who have hurt you. Carrying anger or resentment does not punish the person who wronged you. It only poisons you. It keeps you trapped in a story that no longer exists. True strength is not in revenge. True strength is in forgiveness, not for them, but for yourself. Forgiveness does not mean you forget. It does not mean you justify what happened. It simply means you refuse to let it control you any longer. It means you take back your energy, your mind, your life. Because at the end of the day, the person who wins is not the one who stays angry the longest. It's the one who finds peace first. Letting go also means releasing fear. Fear of failure, fear of the unknown, fear of what people will think. Fear keeps you stuck. It convinces you to stay comfortable, to stay small, to hold on to things that no longer serve you just because they feel familiar. But comfort is the enemy of growth. If you want to become the person you were meant to be, you have to be willing to step into the unknown. You have to be willing to trust that even if you don't have all the answers, you will figure it out. Think about a tree in the fall. The leaves don't fight to stay attached. They let go, knowing that by releasing the old, they make room for the new. That's how life works. If you want new opportunities, new growth, new strength, you have to be willing to release what no longer belongs to you. The strongest people in life are not those who never struggle. They are the ones who know when to release, when to walk away, and when to trust that better things are ahead. They understand that clutching onto what's already lost is the fastest way to lose yourself. And so they make a choice to accept, to let go, and to keep moving forward, no matter what. Chapter 15. The role of creativity in well-being. Everything starts in the mind. Every victory, every failure, every breakthrough, every limitation. It all begins with what you allow yourself to think, to believe, to entertain in your head. If your mind is weak, your life will follow. But if your mind is strong, there is nothing you cannot overcome. Most people live as prisoners, not because of their circumstances, not because of their environment, but because of their own thoughts. They let doubt, fear, and negativity control them. They talk themselves out of success before they even begin. They convince themselves they are not good enough, not capable enough, not worthy enough. And so they stay stuck. They settle. They give up on the life they were meant to have because they let their thoughts defeat them before the battle even starts. But here's the truth. Your mind can be trained. Just like your body, just like a skill, just like anything in life, your thoughts can be controlled, disciplined, and sharpened into a weapon that works for you instead of against you. And that's exactly what separates the strong from the weak. It's not talent, it's not luck. It's the ability to take control of their mind and make it work in their favor. You have to understand something. Your brain is not your friend unless you make it one. It will take the path of least resistance. It will seek comfort. It will try to keep you safe by avoiding anything that feels difficult, uncertain, or painful. It will convince you that quitting is the right choice, that staying in bed is easier, that going back to your old habits is what you really want. And if you let it, it will keep you exactly where you are, weak, unfulfilled, and lost. But you are not here to be weak. You are not here to be controlled by excuses. You are here to master yourself, to build a mind so strong that nothing can shake you. And that requires discipline. Mental discipline is everything. It's the ability to push through when every part of you wants to stop. It's the ability to silence the noise of fear and doubt. It's the ability to command yourself to do what needs to be done, regardless of how you feel. The problem with most people is they wait until they feel ready. They wait until motivation shows up. They wait for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect mindset. But that moment never comes. Because discipline is not about feelings. It's about action. It's about making the decision to move forward even when you don't want to. You think warriors wake up every day feeling like conquering the world. No, but they do it anyway. You think successful people feel like working hard every single day. No, but they do it anyway. Because they understand one simple fact: your feelings do not control you. You control you. And the moment you understand that, everything changes. Start training your mind the same way you train your body. Every time you push through discomfort, you get stronger. Every time you ignore your excuses, you gain power. Every time you make yourself do something hard, you build resilience. And before you know it, you become unstoppable. Not because life got easier, but because you got stronger. But here's the catch. You have to be relentless. You cannot allow weakness to become a habit. You cannot entertain thoughts that do not serve you. You cannot let negativity, fear, or doubt take root in your mind. Because once you let them in, they will grow, they will multiply, they will take over. And soon, you'll find yourself making excuses again. Your mind must be trained every single day. Not just when it's convenient. Not just when you feel like it. Every single day. You must guard your thoughts like your life depends on it. Because it does. If you catch yourself making an excuse, shut it down. If you hear yourself doubting, correct it immediately. If you feel fear creeping in, refuse to listen. Train yourself to think like a warrior, not a victim. Train yourself to seek solutions instead of problems. Train yourself to take action instead of waiting for the perfect moment. Because at the end of the day, your life is a reflection of your mindset. If you think weak, you will be weak. If you think small, you will stay small. But if you train your mind to be disciplined, to be strong, to be unbreakable, there is nothing that can stand in your way. And the best part, this power is already inside you. You don't need permission. You don't need luck. You don't need to wait. You simply need to decide, right here, right now, to stop letting your mind control you, to take back your power, to master the one thing that controls everything else, yourself. Chapter 16. The benefits of meditation. To truly succeed, you have to understand one crucial thing. Comfort will never lead you to greatness. The path to your highest potential is not paved with ease and relaxation. It's built through discomfort, struggle, and relentless effort. If you're waiting for everything to feel right, for everything to align perfectly, you'll be waiting forever. The truth is, most people waste their lives waiting for the perfect moment. But here's the secret. There is no perfect moment. There is only now, and right now is the time to take action. Success is not a product of luck. It's the result of making decisions, day after day, to choose the hard path over the easy one. It's deciding to rise early when you'd rather sleep. It's pushing yourself in the gym when your body is screaming for rest. It's sticking to your goals when distractions are pulling you in 100 different directions. This is the stuff of champions. This is what separates those who achieve from those who only dream. Every successful person you've ever heard of, from entrepreneurs to athletes, to anyone who has truly made something of themselves, has been through the grind. They've all faced moments where they could have taken the easy way out. They've all been tired, discouraged, and tempted to quit. But the difference is, they didn't. They pushed through. They embraced the struggle, the discomfort, the uncertainty, because they knew that on the other side of that pain was growth. And let's be real, growth is uncomfortable. It's messy. It's not something you can just sit back and relax through. You have to earn it, and you have to earn it daily. It's easy to sit in your comfort zone and tell yourself that you'll do it tomorrow, that you'll start your workout next week, that you'll eat better next month. But if you're always pushing things to later, then later never comes. And the more you procrastinate, the more comfortable you get with being comfortable, which traps you in a cycle of stagnation. To break that cycle, you need to learn to love the discomfort. You need to get comfortable with the feeling of being uncomfortable. You need to step into situations that make you nervous, that make you doubt yourself, because that's where real growth happens. It's not about avoiding discomfort. It's about leaning into it, facing it head on, and using it to fuel your progress. You might be thinking, but I'm tired, I'm exhausted. I've been trying for so long, and haven't seen the results I want. And trust me, I get it. We've all been there. But understand this, tiredness doesn't equal failure. Struggle doesn't mean you're not making progress. In fact, it's the opposite. Struggle means you're growing. Struggle means you're evolving into a better version of yourself. And if you're not feeling challenged, if you're not feeling that push, then you're probably not moving forward the way you should be. Think about it this way. When you lift weights at the gym, you don't grow stronger by lifting the same light dumbbells over and over. You have to increase the weight. You have to push yourself to a point where you feel like you can't do another rep. That's where growth happens. And that's how it works in life. If you're not challenging yourself, you're not growing. If you're not pushing yourself to do things that scare you, you're playing it safe. And safe is the enemy of greatness. The truth is, you can't expect to reach your potential if you keep choosing the easy path. Success demands hard work. It demands dedication. It demands discipline. It demands discomfort. But that's exactly why most people never make it. Because when things get tough, they stop, they give up, they quit. And that's why they stay stuck in the same place year after year. But you're different. You know that growth requires sacrifice. You understand that if you want something you've never had, you have to be willing to do something you've never done. But here's the thing. The struggle isn't forever. It's temporary. The discomfort is not a permanent state. It's a phase, a necessary phase on the path to becoming the person you're meant to be. Every time you push through a challenge, you come out on the other side stronger, wiser, and more capable. Every time you face your fears, you become less afraid. And over time, the things that once seemed impossible to you will become your new normal. But to get there, you need to make a choice. You need to choose discomfort over comfort. You need to choose growth over stagnation. You need to choose the struggle over the ease of mediocrity. And you need to do this every single day, over and over again, until it becomes who you are. Because the moment you decide to step into the discomfort, the moment you decide to take control of your life and stop letting excuses run your show, you become unstoppable. So, are you ready? Are you ready to stop waiting for the perfect moment? Are you ready to start showing up, even when it's hard? Are you ready to put in the work, knowing that every step, every rep, every uncomfortable moment is bringing you closer to the person you were meant to be. Because greatness is on the other side of this discomfort, and it's waiting for you to claim it. Chapter 17. Managing Technology and Social Media. You have to wake up. Wake up to the reality that if you don't take charge of your life right now, it's not going to change. That's the hard truth. You can sit there and wait for things to get better on their own, but it won't happen. Life isn't going to hand you success, wealth, happiness, or anything else you dream of without you putting in the work. The sooner you realize that, the sooner you'll start moving forward. But it's not just about realizing it, it's about acting on it. Every day, you have the chance to change your life, to take control of your destiny. But it requires something from you, something you may not have given enough of up until now. It requires discipline, commitment, and a willingness to do the hard things that others won't. Because the reality is that success, in whatever form it takes for you, isn't handed to people who are waiting for it to come. It's earned by those who put in the work day after day, no matter how they feel. Right now, there are people all around you, probably even in your circle, who are getting up earlier than you, pushing harder than you, sacrificing more than you, and that's why they're ahead of you. It's not magic, it's not luck, it's hard work, sacrifice, and choosing the discomfort that comes with pushing toward your goals. There's no other secret to it. If you want to be better, do better, and ultimately achieve more, you have to get comfortable with discomfort. You have to make decisions that move you closer to your goals every single day, even when you don't feel like it, even when it's easier to quit, and even when the world tries to convince you that success is for someone else. You have everything you need to succeed right now. You have the time, the ability, the resources, and the drive inside of you. But what you might be lacking is the willingness to put it all together. If you're waiting for the right circumstances, the right opportunities, or the perfect moment to act, then you're already setting yourself up for failure. Because here's the thing, life doesn't wait for you to be ready. It doesn't wait for you to feel like it's the perfect time to take the next step. Life just keeps moving, and you either keep up or get left behind. The truth is, no one is going to hold your hand through this journey. There won't be anyone cheering you on when you're working late, when you're pushing through the grind, when you're making sacrifices that no one else sees. This is your journey, and it's up to you to stay focused, to keep pushing forward, even when it feels like no one understands what you're doing or why you're doing it. And trust me, there will be days when you feel like giving up, when you question if it's all worth it. But those are the days that matter most. Those are the moments when your commitment to success is truly tested. The difference between those who succeed and those who fail isn't necessarily about talent or intelligence. It's about who is willing to keep going when things get hard. It's about who is willing to put in the hours when everyone else is taking shortcuts. It's about who is willing to embrace the grind, knowing that every hour of sacrifice is one step closer to the person they're becoming. The truth is, the people who reach the highest levels of success aren't the ones who take the easy route. They're the ones who push through the discomfort, who keep going when it feels like there's no end in sight, who are willing to fail and learn, fail and learn until they reach their destination. But it's not enough to just work hard. You have to work smart. Working hard without focus is like running on a treadmill. You're putting in all the effort, but you're not going anywhere. You need to be intentional about how you spend your time. You need to have a plan, a clear vision of where you're going and why. And that means making the hard choices, saying no to things that don't align with your goals, and being disciplined enough to stay on track even when it would be easier to give in to distractions. It's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day grind, to feel like you're stuck in a routine that isn't getting you anywhere. But the truth is, you're in control. You control how you spend your time. You control how hard you work. You control whether or not you take the easy way out. It's all up to you. You can either choose to play it safe, take the comfortable route, and stay stuck in mediocrity, or you can choose to take action. You can choose to push yourself, to make the necessary sacrifices, to stay focused on your goals, and not let anything get in your way. The good news is that every day is a new chance, a new opportunity to get closer to your dreams. It doesn't matter how much you've struggled in the past, how many mistakes you've made, or how many times you've fallen short. Today is a new day, and today you can make the choice to do something different. You can make the choice to move forward, to put in the work, and to keep your eyes on the prize. The people who succeed are the ones who keep showing up, who keep pushing through the tough times, and who keep believing in themselves even when it's hard. But there's something even more important than hard work. It's consistency. Success isn't built in a day, it's built over time. It's the little things you do every day that add up to big results. It's the habit of getting up early, the habit of working out even when you don't feel like it, the habit of staying disciplined with your finances, your career, and your health. Consistency is what creates real progress, and it's what separates those who succeed from those who fall short. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be the best. You just have to keep going, day in and day out, even when it feels like you're not getting anywhere. So, are you ready to take control of your life? Are you ready to stop waiting for things to magically fall into place? Are you ready to work hard, stay disciplined, and do whatever it takes to achieve your dreams? Because this is your moment, right now. And if you're willing to put in the effort, to stay consistent, and to embrace the discomfort, there's nothing standing in your way. The life you want is waiting for you to claim it. But it starts with the decision to get up, take action, and never look back. Chapter 18. Creating a positive environment. To live a meaningful life, to actually make an impact, you have to understand one thing: no one is coming to save you. Not your family, not your friends, not your boss, and definitely not life itself. If you want to see change, if you want to achieve anything significant, you have to be the one to take action. You are the creator of your own story. Nobody else will write it for you. You've got to stop waiting around for someone else to push you or to give you permission to succeed. Your goals, your dreams, your life are yours to shape, and only you can decide to take the necessary steps to turn them into reality. The sooner you accept this, the better. No one owes you success, and no one is going to hand it to you on a silver platter. And that's a good thing, because it means you're in control. You hold the power to change everything. You just have to grab it, put in the work, and refuse to let go no matter how tough things get. Because here's the reality: success is not a straight line. It's not an easy journey. There are going to be times when you feel like giving up. You're going to face failures, setbacks, and challenges that make you question everything. But here's the secret to success. It's not about avoiding failure. It's about learning from it and moving forward. Every failure is just a lesson, a stepping stone towards something better. You can sit there and wait for the right time to start, but guess what? That moment will never come. If you wait for the perfect circumstances, you'll be waiting forever. Life doesn't care about your timing. It doesn't care if you feel ready. It doesn't care if you have the perfect plan. Life just keeps moving, and you either get on board or get left behind. You can't afford to waste time anymore. Every moment you spend waiting is another moment lost, another moment where you could have been working toward your goals, toward your dreams. I know it's easy to think that you'll start tomorrow, or that you need to feel more prepared, or that you need more knowledge. But guess what? You don't need any of that. What you need is the courage to start. You need the willingness to take action, even when you don't feel ready. Because no one who ever achieved something great waited for the right moment. They took action when they had no guarantees, no clear path, no guarantees of success. But they knew that the only way to get anywhere was to start. So they did. You've probably been holding on to excuses. I'm too young. I'm too old. I don't have the right skills. I'm not ready. And you know what those excuses are doing? They're keeping you stuck. They're keeping you from becoming who you're meant to be. You have to be willing to let go of the fear, the doubt, and the excuses. You have to be willing to push yourself beyond your comfort zone, even when it scares you. And here's the kicker. It's supposed to scare you. If your dreams don't scare you, you're playing too small. Your goals should push you, should challenge you. They should be big enough that they make you feel like you have to grow, that you have to level up to make them happen. And that's exactly what you need to do. You need to grow. You need to evolve. You need to step into the next version of yourself. That's what success really is, becoming the person capable of achieving the things you want. It's not about the destination, it's about the transformation along the way. Every time you push past a limit, every time you break through a barrier, you become more of the person you need to be to achieve your goals. And you do it by taking action, by showing up even when you're scared, by making progress even when it feels like you're not moving fast enough. But this journey isn't just about hard work. It's about smart work. You can put in all the effort you want, but if it's not focused in the right direction, it's not going to get you where you want to go. That's why you have to be intentional about the steps you take. You need to know exactly what you're working toward. You need to have a vision, a clear roadmap of where you want to end up. Because without that, you're just wandering aimlessly. You need to ask yourself, every day, is what I'm doing right now helping me get closer to my goals? If the answer is no, then it's time to change what you're doing. It's time to take a different approach. You've got to be disciplined enough to stay on track, even when it gets tough. And trust me, it will get tough. There will be days when you don't want to get up, when you'd rather take the easy way out, but those are the days that matter the most. Those are the days that define who you are. And when you push through them, when you keep moving forward, even when it's hard, you become unstoppable. You prove to yourself that you are capable of anything. That's how you build confidence. That's how you build momentum. And let me tell you, momentum is powerful. Once you start building it, once you start making progress, you won't want to stop. It's like a snowball rolling down a hill. Once it starts, it picks up speed and becomes unstoppable. But getting that momentum takes time. It takes consistency. It takes a commitment to showing up every day, even when you don't feel like it. But when you do, when you make the decision to push through, when you make the decision to keep going, no matter what, everything changes. Suddenly you start seeing results. You start hitting milestones. You start moving closer to the life you want. And the best part is, it doesn't stop there. Once you see what's possible, once you prove to yourself that you can do it, there's no going back. You've unlocked something inside of you that can never be taken away. So, what are you waiting for? Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting for life to hand you the opportunity. Go out there and create it. Make it happen. Be the one who takes control. Be the one who makes their dreams a reality. It starts now. It starts with you, and you are more than capable of making it happen. But you've got to take action. You've got to make that first step. The only thing standing between you and your dreams is the decision to get started. And once you do, there's nothing that can stop you. So go ahead, take that step, and start living the life you've always wanted. Chapter 19. Setting goals for a positive life. Life isn't going to wait for you to get your act together, and neither should you. Every moment that passes is a moment you'll never get back. Think about that for a second. You can't rewind time. You can't undo the missed opportunities. So, what are you doing right now to ensure that you're making the most of the time you've got left? Every second is an opportunity to change, to grow, and to step into the person you're meant to be. The truth is, we all have the same 24 hours in a day. What we do with those hours determines our future, our success, and ultimately, the legacy we leave behind. If you want to make something of yourself, if you want to live a life that you're proud of, then you need to start taking action now. You don't have time to waste. We all have dreams, we all have aspirations, but not all of us are willing to put in the work to make them happen. And that's where most people fall short. They want success, they want happiness, they want fulfillment, but they don't want to go through the pain and the struggle that it takes to get there. They don't want to get uncomfortable, they don't want to face the fear, they don't want to deal with the uncertainty. But let me tell you something, if you want to make it, if you want to truly live the life you've always dreamed of, then you have to be willing to face those challenges head on. You can't run from the discomfort, you can't avoid the hard work. If you want to be successful, you have to embrace the grind. It's not going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it. The truth is, we all face challenges, we all go through difficult times, moments when it feels like the world is against us. But it's in those moments that you have to decide who you're going to be. Will you let the struggles break you? Will you allow the setbacks to stop you from moving forward? Or will you rise above them, keep pushing, and prove to yourself that you're stronger than any obstacle in your path? The choice is yours. The way you respond to the difficulties you face will determine the kind of person you become. If you choose to give up every time things get hard, then you'll never see what you're truly capable of. But if you choose to push through, if you choose to keep going even when it feels impossible, that's when you'll unlock the real power inside of you. I know it's easy to get caught up in the idea of instant success, of things happening quickly and effortlessly, but the reality is that success is a marathon, not a sprint. It's about showing up every day, doing the work, and staying consistent even when the results don't come right away. That's the thing about success. It's not a magic pill that you can take to instantly change your life. It's about putting in the effort, day in and day out, and trusting that the results will come. It's about having faith in the process, even when you can't see the immediate payoff. It's about building momentum, one step at a time, until you reach a point where you look back and realize how far you've come. But here's the thing. Success isn't just about achieving the end goal. It's about who you become along the way. Every obstacle you overcome, every challenge you face, and every lesson you learn is shaping you into the person you need to be to achieve your dreams. Success isn't just about the money, the fame, or the recognition. It's about becoming the kind of person who can handle the responsibility that comes with it. If you want to achieve big things, you have to be willing to grow, to evolve, and to become the best version of yourself. And that's not always easy. It requires discipline, commitment, and a relentless work ethic. But the rewards are worth it. The person you become along the way is worth it. You may not have control over everything that happens in your life, but you do have control over how you respond. You can't control the circumstances, the setbacks, or the challenges that come your way, but you can control your attitude, your mindset, and your determination to keep going. That's the power you hold, the ability to choose how you respond, to choose how you move forward, to choose not to quit. When you stop looking for excuses and start taking responsibility for your life, that's when everything changes. When you stop blaming others, stop complaining, and start doing the work, that's when you start to see the results. But here's the real kicker: success doesn't come overnight. It takes time, patience, and persistence. It takes a willingness to keep pushing even when you don't see immediate results. It takes the belief that what you're doing is worth it, even when you don't have the evidence to prove it yet. It takes faith in yourself and your ability to overcome any obstacle. And it takes a commitment to never giving up, no matter how tough things get. Success isn't about being perfect. It's about showing up, putting in the effort, and being consistent. It's about taking responsibility for your own life and refusing to let anything stand in your way. It's about embracing the journey with all its ups and downs, knowing that each step you take brings you closer to your goal. Success isn't a destination, it's a mindset. It's about being willing to put in the work, to push through the pain, and to keep going when everyone else has given up. And when you do that, when you keep going, even when it's hard, you'll look back and realize that the struggle was worth it. You don't have to be perfect, you don't have to have it all figured out, but you do have to keep moving forward. You do have to keep pushing yourself, even when it feels like you're not making progress. You do have to keep believing in yourself, even when others doubt you. You do have to keep putting in the work, even when it feels like no one is watching. Because one day, when you least expect it, everything will fall into place. The success, the recognition, the fulfillment, it'll all come, but it will only come if you keep going. If you don't quit, if you stay committed to the process, no matter how long it takes. So what's stopping you? What's holding you back from taking that first step, from putting in the work, from committing to the process? The only thing standing in your way is yourself. You are the only person who can decide whether or not you're going to make your dreams a reality. It's time to stop making excuses. It's time to stop waiting for the perfect moment. The time to act is now. Don't wait for someone else to tell you what you're capable of. Don't wait for the world to hand you an opportunity. Go out there and create your own opportunities. Take control of your future. It all starts with you. And the sooner you take action, the sooner you'll see the results. Chapter 20. Continuing the journey. It's easy to get lost in the noise of the world and forget that you have the power to change your life. Everywhere you look, people are telling you what you should do, how you should think, and what success is supposed to look like. But the truth is, no one knows you like you do. No one understands your dreams, your struggles, and your potential the way you do. You are the only one who can create the life you want. It starts with you, and it starts right now. The problem is, we often let fear and doubt get in the way. We're afraid of failing, of not being good enough, of not measuring up to the expectations others have for us. But here's the hard truth. You'll never know what you're capable of until you face that fear head-on and push through it. Fear is natural. It's a part of being human, but it doesn't have to control you. When you learn to use fear as fuel, it becomes your greatest ally. The more you challenge yourself, the more you grow, and the more you realize that the limitations you've placed on yourself are just illusions. Think about the moments in your life when you've pushed through fear. The first time you stepped out of your comfort zone. The first time you took a risk, unsure of the outcome, but trusting that you had the ability to handle whatever came your way. Remember how it felt to take that step. Maybe it was terrifying, but you did it anyway. And on the other side of that fear, you found something better. Confidence, growth, and a sense of accomplishment. That's what happens when you stop letting fear control you. You begin to realize that fear is just a signal telling you that you're about to do something that matters. But what happens when you let fear stop you? When you listen to that voice inside your head that tells you not to try, that you're not ready, that it's safer to stay where you are. Nothing changes. You stay stuck in the same place, spinning your wheels, waiting for the perfect moment to take action. But here's the catch. There is no perfect moment. The perfect moment is the one you create by taking action, by moving forward, even when you don't have it all figured out. So how do you start? How do you move forward when everything in your mind is telling you to stay put, to play it safe, to not take that leap? It starts with believing in yourself. It starts with understanding that you are capable of more than you think. You have talents, skills and abilities that are just waiting to be unlocked. But you'll never unlock them if you stay where you are. You have to step into the unknown, take that leap of faith, and trust that you have what it takes to figure it out along the way. You see, life doesn't hand you success on a silver platter. It's not something you just wake up with. Success is earned, and it's earned through hard work, determination, and perseverance. The road to success isn't a straight line. It's full of twists and turns, ups and downs, and unexpected detours. But every time you face a setback, every time you hit a roadblock, you have a choice. You can either let it stop you, or you can use it as an opportunity to grow stronger, smarter, and more determined. The people who succeed in life aren't the ones who avoid failure. They're the ones who learn from it and keep moving forward. The most successful people in the world didn't get to where they are by being afraid to fail. They got there by failing, learning from those failures, and trying again. The key is not to fear failure, but to embrace it as part of the journey. Failure isn't the end of the road, it's just a step along the way. Every failure teaches you something valuable. Every setback brings you closer to your goal, even if it doesn't feel like it at the time. Now I know it's easier said than done. It's easy to tell someone to push through the fear, to take action, to believe in themselves, but the real challenge is in the doing. It's in the moments when you're tired, when you're discouraged, when you're not seeing the results you want. It's in those moments that you have to dig deep. You have to remind yourself why you started in the first place. You have to remember that the only way to fail is to quit. As long as you keep going, you're still in the game. And the truth is, the only thing standing between you and the life you want is your own mindset. It's the thoughts you allow to take root in your mind. If you keep telling yourself that you're not good enough, that it's too late, or that you don't have what it takes, then you're not going to get anywhere. But if you change your mindset, if you start telling yourself that you are capable, that you are worthy, that you are ready to take on whatever comes your way, then you'll start to see the change. Your thoughts shape your reality. So change your thoughts, and you'll change your life. It's not enough to simply want something. You have to be willing to put in the work. You have to be willing to show up every day, even when it's hard, even when it feels like you're not making progress. Because success isn't about quick wins. It's about consistency. It's about putting in the effort, day after day, week after week, month after month, even when it doesn't feel like it's paying off. The results will come, but they'll come only if you keep showing up. So, where do you go from here? You take the first step. Whatever that step looks like for you, you take it. You commit to doing the work, to facing the fear, to embracing the challenges. You commit to showing up every day and giving your best, knowing that even when it's tough, you're moving closer to your goal. You commit to believing in yourself, to trusting the process, and to never giving up. The time is now. Don't wait for the perfect moment, because it doesn't exist. There will always be something standing in your way if you let it. The only thing standing between you and your dreams is the decision to start. So, what are you waiting for? Take that step, make that move, and start building the life you deserve. You've got this. The world is waiting for you to show up and make your mark. It's time to stop holding back and start living with purpose, passion, and determination. Your future is in your hands. Now go make it happen.